This is the longest journey in search of the American dream. A journey of more than 3,000 miles. A journey with the beast. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, in 2014, over 50,000 children from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador were detained. For some of them, the only way they can get into the United States is taking a trip in a train, in a cargo train called the Beast. My name is Gabriel Escelara. Thank you for tuning in, and I am the host for this show. Today, I have the story of Brian Duban Redondo Soler, who left Honduras on April of 2014 and made this dangerous journey with only the clothes on his back and $8 on his pocket. I also have an expert in immigration law who will help us understand the legal process for these minors once they reach U.S. soil. Brian was 14 when he left Honduras. Sitting on the roof of the Beast, Brian kept thinking, "Things are bad and this is really hard. But I have a goal. I will make it into the United States and provide for my family." When riding the Beast, people have to get off while train goes through checkpoints in Mexico, which often is hard. At the checkpoint in Lecherias near Mexico City, Brian lost his two friends. Not sure what happened to them, but he never saw them again. Brian also remembers when a pregnant woman, maybe in her 30s, fell from the train and died in front of everybody. Nobody could help. And the journey for everybody else had to continue. From Jalisco, he rode with a truck driver to Reynosa, a border town with the United States. The truck driver just liked him, and he wanted to help him. He told the authorities, "He is my son," in every checkpoint. Once he made it to Reynosa, he wasted no time. The same day he arrived, he crossed the Rio Grande, where the U.S. Border Patrol caught him, kept him for 3 months in a detention center until Brian was released to his sister in San Francisco, California. Sylvia Rodriguez is an attorney who specializes in immigration law. Sylvia Rodriguez, thanks for joining me today. Can you please explain the process for these minors once they are in hands of the Customs and Immigration Service?
Hi, Gabriel. Thank you for having me on your show to discuss this issue. The crisis of minor children crossing the U.S. border really boomed in 2014. As a result of the large amount of children crossing the border unaccompanied, the U.S. government created the Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, which is a branch of Health and Human Services. The main purpose of the Office of ORR is to look out for the best interest of the children. This means that they must ensure that they have proper medical care, in some cases psychological assistance, and mainly to find a sponsor who can they be released to. The sponsor must be someone who can provide for them, ensure that they will have a safe environment, education, and the basic necessities for the minor children.
Okay, now why Brian in this case spent 3 months in the detention center, a place where he felt like he was in jail. And what you are saying is that potentially the 30-some or 40,000 kids or minors that make it to the border can essentially be in the United States having a better life?
The time that any minor children spends in a detention center is determined by their specific situation. In a lot of cases, they come in with very serious problems, psychological, physical, and also the challenge of making sure that person that they're going to be released to is a fit person to take care of them. Obviously, the first choice would be to release them to the closest family member that they can find, starting with their parents, aunts and uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins. If they don't have any close family members, they will start looking to others who are willing to be their sponsors. And this can take time, as they have to run background checks on the sponsors, and they have to make sure that they will be taken care of. Now, for most of these unaccompanied minor children, the wait in the detention centers is worth knowing that they're going to be released to someone in the United States. It's better alternative than being turned away and being sent to their countries that they worked so hard to get away from. Once they are released, they get put in proceedings where they need to go back to court and request to stay in the United States. For unaccompanied minors, there are different processes that are not available to, let's say, an adult. For an unaccompanied minor, they can request asylum, and they can also request to be classified as special juvenile minor children, and they can begin their process in court. Ultimately, a judge is going to decide whether they qualify for the relief that they're seeking, and this will all depend on the circumstances why they came into the United States. Now, out of all the minors that get apprehended crossing the border, not all of them will be admitted, released, and placed in immigration proceedings. Depending on what country they come from, they are subject to different treatments. For instance, if a minor getting apprehended at the border is from Mexico, they could return them to their country unless they express a fear of returning back and they are determined that their fear is credible, in which case they could request asylum, which will place them in deportation proceedings upon their release. Ultimately, a judge will get to decide whether they stay in the United States or get returned to their country of origin.
Well, unfortunately, this is an issue that continues to grow, and I don't see anybody taking matter on their hands. Ms. Rodriguez, thank you for helping us to understand the process, how these minors get a chance or could get a chance to stay in the United States. Now, today's story had a sort of a happy ending, but many Bryans get lost somewhere along the ride of the beast. Their families never see them again, or in best case scenario, they get deported back from Mexico to their native countries, just to plan their next trip on the beast. Thank you for listening today. For Map Radio, I am Gabriel Escelara. We'll be back with more stories next time. Thank you for listening today. This program is dedicated to the Americans in search of the American dream.